Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Amaran Wakar. Back with another lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua Bashem, Wakar Kodash. Double honors, as always, goes to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect pushing this word, the truth and the sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Yeah, the globe, which is about to, well, we're not about to as yet, but we are shortly going to see this globe in turmoil. Right, I just had this idea just to do a little AI look at how the AI deems through information, how the world sees, the United States of America, man, because their reputation is falling, rapidly, man. The things that they've been doing over the past, 100 years, that's just a rough, number. People are obviously starting to see who the real villains are, man. And they should have seen that a long time ago. They've been pulling this shit for a long time, man. And now with this whole Venezuela stuff, it's kind of tipping the scales a bit, man. It's like the straw that's breaking the camel's back kind of thing. Maybe not just yet, but it's getting there. So I'm just going to read some stuff. I'm just get a few scriptures, man. It's going to be a quick one because it's kind of impromptu anyway, man. Spirit jumped to me to just do this one. So yeah, man. It says global opinion of the United States is deeply divided and has become less favorable in many allied nations in 2025, with views varying significantly by country, age, and political leaning. While the US is praised for its popular culture and military strength, its politics, foreign policy, and internal divisions are frequently points of criticism. Yeah, foreign policy, man. That's them riling up in other people's backyards, man, and basically taking over. So it says overall sentiment across 24 countries recently surveyed, a median of 49% of adults hold a favorable view of the US, while an identical share holds an unfavorable view. The US's global reputation has declined since late 2024, particularly among traditional allies in Europe and Canada. So it says the US generally receives its most favorable ratings from key allies and partners, obviously. So look, 83% from who you can see. Well, I'm just gonna read it. Israel 83%, Poland, Nigeria, Japan, Kenya, Brazil, Hungary, and South Korea all have majority favorable views. Unfavorable views. Let's just jump to that. Many nations, particularly those in Europe and North America, have predominantly negative views. Sweden is 79% unfavorable. Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, and Turkey all have major views that all have majorities that view the US unfavorably. Reasons for unfavorability. Criticism often centers on US government actions and policies, partisan conflicts and healthcare system, gun violence, and the perception of the US as an arrogant bully on the world stage. You can't do this forever and expect people to just sit back and let you get away with it, man. That's not how it works. That is not how it works, man. View of the people versus the government says a distinction is often made between the US government policies and its people. While the government receives substantial criticism, individual Americans are often stereotyped as optimistic, hard-working, and tourists are generally welcome. There's a difference between the people and the government and the state, man, It's always been that way. We don't control people. The people don't control what the government does. A nation, a country is usually, divided by its government and its people. The government and the people don't hold the same ideals, man. Right? And why is that? Because governments change. You know, the government, you know, whoever is ruling have their own agendas. You know, the people behind them always have the same agenda, but the things they might say are going to be different. People, you know, believe in the democracy, which is not, you know, which is a false democracy, but they believe in it all the same. That's why people's opinions sway and whoever they vote for sway. But let's look at something real quick, man, because we read you know, the unfavorable countries, man. And look, some of those are part of the founding 12 members, man. And we have to exert the United Kingdom and the United States from that, because the United States is the whore daughter of the United Kingdom, man. So really, it's these other 10, which is the 10 horns, man. Right, and you got France in there. Well, let me just go back again. Let's just see that real quick. So Netherlands, Spain, France, Germany, are they in there? I think yeah, so Netherlands, Italy was there, right? Oh no. It's hard to go back and forth. Right, but you got France, Netherlands, you know, they're all part and parcel of NATO, man. So some of their own, you know, that's some of those countries. What I'm trying to get to is some of those countries that's listed here is part of the 10 horns, man. Right, which is going to go against Babylon, man. According to scriptures, I want to get that in a minute. So, you know, their own established governing body over the world is coming against them. Why? Because they're on a mad thing, basically. They're just going crazy. You know, Trump is acting like he's the king of the world and can do like the emperor of the earth, and he can do whatever he wants. But this is all, you know, we're not complaining about this. It's all pushing it further towards the end, man. So I'm just, like I said, it's going to be a quick one. It's just a quick one. But let's read this, man. It says the doom of Babylon, man. It's just coming. What he's doing is riding up the nations, man. Right, he's pissing off all that nation in itself, not just Trump. It was happening before him, man. You know, people going and invading countries. Look what they just did to Venezuela, man. And I've done a video on that already. And all they're doing is going in there to steal, to kill and destroy, just like what the wicked does, man. You know, they have not come to to kill, steal and destroy, man. That's their MO, their modus operandi. Revelation 17:1. It says, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And I can break this down, but it's going to get to the breakdown, so I'm going to get down there anyway. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Because, you know, basically all the countries have been forced to be dealing with the whore of Babylon, man. Right? You know, and been made to, you know, preach its doctrine amongst their countries, you know, spreading their wicked ways, man. You know, every country had its own ways of doing things, but now the Western way, which is basically the American way, has been spread to all the countries, man. Even down to the smallest thing, like the way people dress. You know, now they're spreading their, you know, their rights for everybody, and you know, you know, you can be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do without will. You know, you can be a man. If you're a woman, you can be a man. If you're a man, you can be a woman. All that stuff, you know, all the LGBT stuff, they've been spreading it around the earth, man. where was I now? Verse 3, so it says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-coloured beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So we know that's talking about the EU and NATO, right? As it's been taught many times, man. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colour, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. You know, just the clothes represents, you know, that harlot, and also that purple represents rulership, man. And it says, upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And that just screams it, man. You know, they spread abominable information and ways and doctrines about the earth, man. And if you don't get down, you have to lay down. That's how they move, man. You forget with the way Babylon wants to go, you get dealt with, man. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Why? Because that is where the saints have been born out, man. The saints are everywhere, but Babylon is where they were done the most evil, man. Alright? Transatlantic slave trade, 13th Amendment, Jim Crow, what they did to the Gadites, you know, with the can't never remember what the disease was, man. It always comes out of my mind when I'm going to say it. Smallpox and all of that, yeah. All the treaties broken, you know. What they did to the Ephraim, you know. So, you know, they've got a lot to pay for, man. And not to mention that they're still doing it to this day. Who gets the most convictions, false convictions, man? Who's in the prison houses the most? It's Jake, man. Who gets shot down in the streets, you know, unarmed? It's Jake. And look, that's all part of the curses, man. But they're the ones doing it, and they have to pay regardless of whether the Most High made them to do it or not, when he did make them to do that. Verse 6 says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. Yeah, man, because there's been martyrs, man, in this thing, right? And there's going to be, and so I shouldn't have said that really like that. What I should have said is there will be martyrs, right? And you can even say there have been martyrs, man. Any man that's died in this truth, man, by doing this work, who's going to be raised, First Thessalonians, I believe, I could be wrong, you know, when Yahushua returns, man. They're martyrs, man. It says, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And that those, you know, the ones that were written from the foundation of the world are the saints, man, the elect, that 144,000. Right, verse 9 says, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and that's governing bodies, right? And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Because you've got to talk about, that's going into that whole beast system, man. Remember, these nations that are, before we get to that point of that World War III, these nations are going to, be confederate to make this new world order, this beast system, man. The MOTB, right? America can't force them to do it. They have to be in league with it at first. Right? These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. And you can read that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are the peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. And that fire is that nuclear fire, man, by way of ICBM missiles, man. ICBM missiles, ICBMs, right? So it says, look, for Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will and agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which is Babylon, America, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Right? And this is it now. Joel 3:1, it says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat or Jehoshaphat, right? Meaning Yahweh's judgment. And I will plead with them for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom thou hast scattered among the nations and part of my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I recompense upon your own head, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and ye have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Alright, so basically it's just talking about what they've done to to the Lord's people, man. Right, I just want to get to the point. Verse 9 says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So these other nations, man, that have been basically been bullied by Babylon the Great, are gonna turn on them, man. Right? If you're walking around bullying up the place, man, right, you should have in your back of your mind some sort of fear that might come back on you, man. But these people are so proud, man. It goes into that in Obadiah, man. They're so proud. This nation is so proud that they don't understand that that's a possibility. Well, not even a possibility. They don't understand that it's going to happen, and they don't believe it to be possible. Yeah, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Right, it says all ye heathen, because we're not going to be a part of that war. We might be in the armies, but we don't have a nation that is going to, or with an army that is going to be involved in that, man. Because the Lord is going to be fighting for us. We're not a nation that is built like that right now. I'm just going to read this real quick, man. 2 Peter 3:10 says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." Alright? So, not like it was before in the floods, man. It's going to go up by way of nuclear fire, man. That's what's coming from Babylon the Great, man. And we can't wait for that. Their pride is boundless, man. Their pride is boundless, I should say. Well, like I said, man, just a quick one, man. Our Lord is edifying, all praise and all glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. And shalom to the next one. Shalom.